Are you ready to listen to a podcast?
Here comes the Playhouse Podcast, thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices.
Find, subscribe, and listen.
Did you miss a show? Download the podcast now.
Hey, it's Alina J. If you could tell your 18-year-old self 3 words, what would those words be? Is Kat raising her son Liam to be a spoiled brat? And the Playhouse go off the rails? What in the world is going on? All of this plus so much more is coming up in the Playhouse Podcast, which starts now.
So I saw this on Facebook, and, every time someone's like, if you met me, where did you meet me, and how did it go? You know what I mean? Comment below. But
do you do that ever? Ever?
I just did the other day.
Oof.
If you know something, what did I write? I don't know. And then you did that recumbent bike gif.
Oh, yes, I do remember
hilarious.
that now. Yes, I do remember that.
But everybody that commented below, I'm like, oh my God, these people know me really well. There was like cheese, Botox, napping, recumbent bikes.
Being angry all the time.
It was like all spot on. But there was one the other day that said, if you could say something to your 18-year-old self in 3 words, what would it be? And like too many things popped into my head.
Really?
I had like 4 right away.
I struggled when you told us we were going to do this morning.
Really?
Yeah, because
so you must have been on the right track at 18.
Well, no, I felt like I had my life was in line. You know what I mean? Like I was going to a good school. I knew I was still going to be an athlete. Mm-hmm. I felt good about about everything. Like and even now, like I look back and I'm like, I feel good about my life. You know what I mean? Like if I had to cash it in today, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah. Well, I know that people say don't regret anything because you wouldn't end up where you are today. But no, there were a couple of things that I definitely regretted.
So what would 3 words be to 18-year-old Kat?
I'm going to say all 4 that popped into my mind. The first one was decline credit card.
Ooh.
Because I used my credit card on the dumbest stuff ever. And then I couldn't pay it off because I was young.
Oh, it's 30% interest probably.
Next one, be single now. I have never been single since I was 15 years old.
What do you think that would have gotten you?
Maybe just a little bit more me time. I would just always go from boyfriend to boyfriend to boyfriend. And
so
I think being
that's
single
okay.
is a big deal.
Humans are, we need people.
Yeah, I would have found people to like hang out with, but like be single is what I'm saying. The next one, you're not fat. God, I was so skinny when I started here. Do you remember that? Remember how thin I was?
I feel like this is a very loaded question, and I'm not answering
any
of these questions.
And then the last one is put cigarettes down.
Oh,
so
good
18 was kind of like around the time I started, and then I did it for like 5 years. And what a waste of money and just terrible.
Yeah, but it was a good life
body.
lesson for you. You know what I mean? You figured it out that, and then you'll probably make sure that your son doesn't because of it.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So,
although, what to look out for?
Elena, if you could have 3 words to say to 18-year-old Elena, what would they be?
Gay is okay. Because I was really struggling with my sexuality.
Yeah.
Like, I dated women starting when I was 16 years old, but I kept thinking, like, I'm just bisexual. I'm into guys. And that was just never the case. I just kept wanting to be into guys because I knew that was, socially acceptable.
Quote unquote
at the
normal.
time. Yeah, that was normal. And I wanted so badly to be normal. But, nah, I'm gay and it's okay.
How old were you when you figured that out? Like when you were able to say it comfortably?
I would say 16, but I think I always knew since I was like 3 or 4. I always knew. I always knew I was into women.
When did you tell your parents?
When I was 16,
Okay.
I told my mom, we were driving in the car together, and she was like, "You're doing so great," and she was like amping me up, saying, "Your grades are great. Soccer's going to start you doing so well."
Do you think she knew and she was amping you up to get you to finally say it?
No, she had no idea, and so
Really?
I just felt like there was a pit in my stomach, and I was like, "I'm holding this secret from you," and I just came out with it, and she was like, "Kiss guys, kiss girls, do what you want to do," and I was like, "Whoa."
She knew.
She had to
Are
know.
you crazy? And then you said that your sister knew before your mom, right?
Yep.
So I feel like, don't you think your sister might have told her? And that's why she...
No. I mean, my little sister found us, my girlfriend and I at the time, making out on the couch. But my mom already
So
knew.
you
We
were
already
just
had
wrestling?
that conversation before. Yeah, that was. She came up crying to my mom. "Oh my God, you're making out on the couch." I'm like,
We're just wrestling.
All right.
For me, it would be happy now. There was a long time that I didn't know, what I wanted to do. Like, this is a happy job for me. I love this job in the morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, there was still this pressure of like, go to law school, do this. And like, I worked so hard, whether it was athletics or just kind of, I was so focused on what I was supposed to be in everybody else's eyes that I didn't I partied and had fun and stuff like that. But like that, when you're happy in life, you hit a moment, you just go, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I wish that would have happened 20 years ago.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I would have, that's what mine would have been. So we wanted to ping you real quick this morning and ask you, what would yours be? All right, let's get to group therapy in the Playhouses. Kat and JJ, Elena's here as well, and Jennifer joins the show. I know you'd hit us up a little bit earlier, and you had a problem, and usually what we try and do is find out just enough to go, yes, we want to bring this on the radio, but then not know too much so we can get a genuine reaction out of this. So I'm going to let you kind of take the ball here, Jennifer. Kind of tell us what's been going on.
Well, okay, so during this quarantine, my husband and I, we've been friends with a lovely couple. You know, we've been hanging out a lot, obviously, because there's not really much to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we've been having a lot of fun together. So they have a daughter that's a little bit older than mine, about 2 years older than my daughter. And this little girl is just awful. She's just a little spoiled brat.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is impacting your daughter, we're assuming?
Yes, very much so. So there was one incident where my daughter came to the dinner table and literally all her bangs were cut.
No.
Yes.
Horrible. And then, so obviously this little girl did it, and then she turned around and tried to blame it on my daughter to say that my daughter did it to herself.
Oh.
Wow. You know what? I'm going to totally sympathize with what you're going through. Liam had kind of a similar situation where this kid that we were hanging out with the couple, and their kid was just like, he wouldn't listen, he would talk back, and then we would leave that house, and Liam would start to kind of do the same thing.
He'd act that way because he wanted to be like that kid.
And I'm like, listen, you cannot do that. How he's acting is not right. But so you're having fun. You like the couple, though, right?
Yeah, I do like the couple, and I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to navigate this, because even to the point where my daughter doesn't even fully see it, like you said with your son, she's like, oh, she was just styling my hair.
Yeah.
And doesn't really see what's wrong with it because she's little. She thinks they're playing, but I want to keep having fun with the couple, but this demon seed does not need to be anywhere here.
Demon seed, I love it. All right, so the question really is, how do you still have fun with the couple without this kid impacting your kid? All right, this is pretty good for group therapy, so we'll toss it out there. Trisha, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys this morning?
Good. Thanks for kicking it with us. We're doing group therapy, so what would you say to Jennifer?
Well, I was in a very, very similar situation. You need to, one, talk to your child. I have one friend that she has one, oh my gosh, her kid is horrible, horrible. And I had 6 kids, and her daughter's like in the middle of all of mine.
Yeah.
And I have two older and 4 younger. That's too many. And
they're all running together. Okay.
Oh yeah, they do, especially when she's there, because she's 8, and I have a 9-year-old, 11-year-old, and a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
And then I have a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 2-year-old.
Okay.
And
I'm really confused right now. Can I just get your advice, please, Trisha? Like, the numbers are floating around in my head, and I don't want to be rude, but I feel like I'm going to pass out.
Carry the why. What do you have to say about this whole thing to Jennifer?
Okay, so I've trained my kids that don't do what she does. You need to, if she's doing something wrong, come to an adult. Now, if they ever go to her,
yeah,
she just is like, okay, whatever. Like, I've been in that situation. Her daughter cut my daughter's hair. Oof. And my girls have long, beautiful hair, and her daughter doesn't like it, and she just chopped my daughter's hair, and I was like, the F. And I was like, no.
Doesn't every little girl do this? Like, I cut my sister's bangs 2 days before she was going to be a flower girl in my godmother's wedding. And my mom's like, why did you do that? And I said, I think she needed bangs. And that was my reasoning, but I was 6. And so I feel like this happens, but can you agree that 2 years time with kids is a big span?
Huge.
Like, Liam is 8 and he has a friend that's 10, and the stuff that the 10-year-old talks about, Liam's not quite there yet.
You always feel like you can talk a younger kid into something too that you don't want to do. That's the best part about that.
Yes, but you teach your kid, even if they're the older ones or if they're the younger ones, that what they're doing is not okay. And then you talk to that child. Like, I don't even care. Your child cut my child's hair. No, I'm going to talk to your child. This is not okay. This behavior is not okay. My friend's kid, when she's at my house, she has to say yes, ma'am. To me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, that's how my kids are. Yes, ma'am. Can I have a drink? Yes, you can.
I agree with that. At my house, you clean up after yourself. There are so many kids that Liam has hung out with where they come and destroy our basement and there's toys everywhere and then they just leave. I'm like, nah. And then they look at me sideways like I just asked for all of their kidneys. And then they're like, well, my mom doesn't make us clean up. Well, that's your mom's fault because
You guys are mean.
y'all made my basement dirty.
It's not mean. Not mean at all.
No.
It's mean to expect your child to come over to a house, destroy the house, and then to not do anything about it. You can destroy your own house, but don't come over to my nice, clean house and destroy it.
Yes, ma'am.
Like, you're done. You're done.
Trisha, I feel that you have to rule with an iron fist when you have 6 kids. Otherwise, it's game over, isn't it?
Not really. They're very well behaved.
That's good.
Are they scared of you? Because I am right now a little bit.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
All right. Well, hey, I really appreciate you being on the show, and I hope you have a great day with your 6 children and the giant shoe you live in.
Oh, I just got shivers.
I live in an apartment.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, my God.
Thank you, Trisha.
6 kids.
Have a
All
great
right,
day.
good luck to her.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
appreciate it.
See you later.
Does anybody feel like Trisha's the ultimate mom? Like she could literally do anything? I bet she makes her spaghetti with meat sauce.
Probably.
Yeah.
How much would someone have to give you to have 3 more kids? How much money?
How much does cyanide cost? I'd have to check out. I couldn't do it.
I don't know how people do it.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah. I met a mom at the
How
beach
much are
yesterday,
condoms?
And she homeschools all 4 of her kids, and she was like super happy. I'm like,
it's a sadist attitude.
You're on drugs.
It's a sadist attitude. When you look to be hurt or when you look to suffer, you know what I mean? And there's certain religions that you're supposed to suffer like Christ did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you look for ways to suffer. That's that religion.
You're so dramatic.
It is. I couldn't do it. 3's enough.
Yeah.
If you do more than 3, maybe there's a higher calling for you, but it hasn't ever come to my mind. You're on crack.
Yeah. I'm a one and done.
I'm sure you love Trisha. I'm sure you love all your children. Mm-hmm. But you don't love them all equal. There's 3 that stand out. The other ones are getting the leftovers. That's it.
Like, name one that you love more than the other 2.
Nolan.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was so quick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Every day. Twice on Sundays, too, man. I love that kid way more than the other ones.
This was the exact music that was playing behind Liam as he walked down the street yesterday.
Dragging what behind him?
Just his sorrows. So I said to him, hey, go down and see if your friend wants to come to the beach. Take your 4-wheeler. You never take your 4-wheeler. Why don't you ride it? We just don't have enough acreage. And right there,
How does he know a word like that?
he's got grandparents with acreage. And I just said, what the hell am I doing wrong? This kid has everything. He
You
has
spoil him
everything.
endlessly, and you even bought him a 4-wheeler at age 8.
It is so true that you can give your kids too much.
Yeah.
And
So he
I
won't
felt
ride it
it
because you don't
yesterday.
have enough acreage.
I felt like really sad, and I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to call Eddie's, and they're just going to give me my money back. We're just going to give the 4-wheeler back. And he's like, well, listen, save it for when we have acreage.
Oh!
And I said, we're never going to have acreage. I don't want acreage. You said you wanted a 4-wheeler. And then he says, I actually really wanted that dirt bike instead of the 4-wheeler.
Oh, no. You ungrateful little shyster.
So I hopped online and I looked at boarding schools. They're all closed for coronavirus. So I was like, crap.
Wait, how old you got to be to go into the military?
Like 6. And so I was just like, I called Derek and I said, this kid has too much and we're not buying him anymore. I am not spending another dime on this kid unless it's underwear or food, because our whole garage filled with things with dust because the kid will just move on to the next shiny thing. So he comes back from Big Lake yesterday, seeing these kids play with their Fusion scooters on the skate park. He's like, I really want a Fusion scooter. I said, how much are they? $80. I go, I'm not paying for anything. I'm not giving you money for anything anymore. But it's on Amazon. It's Prime. You can go ahead and get it here by Wednesday. I go, holy cripes. What am I raising? And I said, you know what you got to do? You got to give me $80 and I'll put it on my Prime account and I'll order it. And he had all this birthday money and he brings out, and I said, you know what? I'll cover $15 of it because he
Why'd you give in right away?
Listen, he did chores for the last couple of weeks and I haven't paid him for it. So I made it sound like I was just taking 15 off the top. Okay. So that's money I don't have to give him. And I said, so now you owe me $65.
You have to do the quick math in your head there. Does that sound silly, didn't you?
He comes out with his wallet and he gives me he gave me $60. And then he looks at me and he goes, do you want more? I go, you owe me $5 more.
This kid is a gem.
And he goes, you really need the $5? I go, yeah, I need the $5. Give me the $5. Make this honest. And then I had him shake my hand. And that was...
Did you order it?
That was the transaction. Yes, I did. Be here on Wednesday. Today. I feel really, really awful. There are so many kids that go without things, and I try to show him that. I mean, he's such a great kid. He's very polite to people. He's got an awesome personality.
Was he polite to you when he said, I really wanted something else for my birthday when you guys dropped hundreds of dollars on this gift?
No, that part was pretty rude.
Was he polite when he told you you needed to buy more land? You
peasant. Get me acreage, you peasant. I can feel the pee under my mattress. That's what he was acting like. So I am vowing from now on to not buy him anything.
You're a liar.
Except for food.
You're a liar already. You already bought him something.
Okay. Coming from the guy that's going to give his kid a car for going to class.
Hey, at least I don't mask it. At least I don't
fresh, man.
At least I don't BS it. Listen, I will be the first to tell you, I want my son to not make the mistakes I did. And if that means buying him a car because he gets straight A's in college, I will do that. I will bribe the hell out of a child.
That is not like you. That's crazy.
I'm exactly like you, but I just don't mask it.
I just
always don't BS it.
Justify him like he doesn't have a brother or sister. He's the only child. I can afford it right now. Do I want to give it to him? No more. It's not going to happen. It's going to happen. He's going to have to count on a grandparent to give him stuff because I'm not doing it anymore.
Can they give him acreage?
One can. Mm-hmm.
Well, he's okay.
All right.
What you got to look out though is for the side. I mean, he's going to come at you and try and knock you off so that he can go live with the grandparents for more acreage.
You know, I've had dreams like that.
Yeah, I could see this happening right now.
Yeah.
What happened to Kat? I don't know. Her kid killed her.
Weird news.
I don't know who all of these terrible friends are that are pushing their friends in front of bears as they run, but evidently it's been happening a lot, so they have to put signs up. Park rangers are now offering up instructions on how to avoid being attacked by a bear, and people are taking a lot of trips to like mountains lately, doing hiking because, you know, everything is closed, and so they find themselves in these terrifying encounters with bears, and one of the first tips that they provide is, please don't run from bears or push your slower friends down in attempts to save yourself.
I will tell you this. I went bear hunting once. I've told this story before. It was my dad and his army buddies and me. I was like 11 years old, and I was scared to death I was going to get eaten by a bear. And my dad said, see this guy over here? I go, yeah. You don't have to be faster than the bear. You just got to be faster than him. And this guy was pushing probably 350.
Yeah.
Like he was pretty out of shape. So I knew at that point I can outrun that guy.
Yeah.
I was pretty good to go and happy about that.
Giant naked man over the continental United States.
Your eye immediately goes to the big naked man.
Man, I wish I was naked.
I want to be naked. Aw, let the man be naked.
Weird news, Wisconsin. They go together like peanut butter and jelly. So we're going to go to Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin, where police recently arrested this guy named Stephen Allen for disorderly conduct and lewd behavior. You know I love a good mooner. You know I love a good streaker. Nudity is so hilarious. It should not be called, attention to by the police. I just don't think you should get a ticket for being naked.
Problem is if you don't, you got those weird flashers with the trench coats.
If he were just naked, that would have been fine. But he was the one that was running around the neighborhood saying he wanted to make love to people's wives and girlfriends. That's when the complaints started rolling in, because that would be an assault. But
how would you feel, Elena, if your next door neighbor was just running around saying he wanted to make love to your fiance?
Oh my gosh, I'd be so creeped out.
Would you call the cops though?
Then it takes it to a creep factor. But if it's just nudity, it's super funny, and that is what's weird.
Elena, what are all your friends doing on social media?
They've all moved to Alaska. So we've all heard that phrase.
They have not, by the way. You know that they're not all moving to Alaska.
So many of them have, but we've all heard that phrase. If your friends jumped off a bridge, would you jump too? And so I'm ready to jump off that bridge and move to Alaska.
You're not moving to Alaska.
I have so many friends that are posting all these wildlife photos. A lot of them are doing like the big fish stuff, and I'm not really into that.
Because it's
the wildlife
the summer.
looks amazing.
You know what happens in Alaska during the winter? Everybody dies. It's so cold that you die and then get eaten by a bear and they don't even know you died.
I think the fact that it just stays so light out
And then it stays dark out for like 6 months.
I know. People get so depressed. Do you really want to move there? No.
It looks so nice.
got a
Everybody's
good thing
showing
going here.
themselves out there with their dogs, and they're in the water, and there's all the trees, and
How
they're
do they make
hiking,
money?
And I don't know what they're doing, but they're living there. I have like 3 separate friends from different friend groups. You know, they're not associated whatsoever. They've all moved to Alaska.
So just because they did it on socials, you're
I
ready
wanna
to
do
pack
it.
your bags.
Yeah, I'm ready. So what have you seen on social media? You've seen your friends do it. Now you're like, I want to do it. Maybe
I
you
got
want to
one.
move somewhere. or
You guys
just buy
follow
something.
Barstool Sports at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
See the fat guy do the gainer off the waterfall?
No.
I want you to do
That's
that.
what I want to do. That's the social media influence I have. I'm thinking about like trying to find a great waterfall beyond the quarries.
Yeah.
Bigger. Like I'm talking like 100-foot gainer.
I will help you find this.
You videotape it?
Yes.
I wanna
will
do it.
drive you there. I will get you dressed. I want you to
That's
do
what I'm
this.
influenced by. How about you?
I'm influenced by those amazing moms that make complete dinners every single night. You know what? I'm always missing one thing. You know, like I'll make spaghetti, but then I always forget the garlic bread. Or like I'm so lazy. And then when they make the food on their Facebook pages and it looks so good and they took the time and they have like really great music playing in the background and a glass of wine. I'm like, who are you? And I want to do that.
You have to buy the lighting first.
Yes.
'Cause you have
gotta
to have
get one of
great
those
lighting.
light rings. But I also have to buy groceries. Then I have to like buy time.
I'm not. My wife will make, if we make dinner, and she's all big on the sides too, and I'm like, I just want to eat the dinner. The sides don't matter to me.
That's why I forget that stuff. Derek always reminds me, like, hey, you forgot this, or don't we have a salad, or do you have any bread to go with this? I'm just like, no, I guess not.
Wait, is it Joni or Johnny?
Joni.
Joni. Well, I'm not supposed to put down Alaska. Why? Are you from there?
Yes, I am.
And what's the greatest? Why are you here then?
I'm here because I married a husband that was in the service and was initially from Minnesota.
Okay. And what's the greatest thing that we're not understanding about Alaska then?
The beauty of the mountains
Oh, Joni,
and the nature.
it's on my bucket list to go. I think it looks absolutely beautiful.
Would you move back?
I wouldn't move back because I don't care for the people.
Oh, they mean?
No, they're not mean, but the worst thing about being from there is being called an Eskimo when you're from there, when you're coming down to the 48s.
Yeah.
And you're not an Eskimo?
No.
Oh.
Are there a lot of Eskimos, or is that just you
No.
saw it on cartoons and you thought it was that?
That's a cartoon thing.
All right. But you're not going
and
back.
It is light out. It is light out there a lot, but I tell you what, sometimes you do wish it was dark at night.
Is that an insulting thing to call someone an Eskimo? Or is it just inferring because
to
you're
me-
from there?
To me, it is when you're not one.
Oh,
Okay.
I think they're charming. They're charming people.
You ever when you were there? Did you live in an igloo?
No.
No, okay.
I lived in a house.
Like a house?
No.
You built a house with sticks?
I lived in the south central part of the state.
Did you ever get chased by a bear?
No, but we used to watch bears all the time.
Could
You
you,
know,
could
we
you
used
catch a
to-
salmon with your own hands?
Excuse me?
Could you catch a salmon with your own hands?
No, but my husband did.
Okay.
We used to work with a guy who worked in Jupiter, and he said that the buildings around the studio that he worked in were built on balls at the very bottom because of the earthquakes. Did you have crazy earthquakes there?
Yeah, I was actually where one of the 6.4 was that actually destroyed a lot of the town years ago.
Oh my God.
But it's up and running. My dad was born and raised there, lived there all his life. I was there until I was probably 18, and I've lived down here ever since.
You ever met Jewel?
Excuse me?
Have you ever met
No.
Jewel? No, okay.
No. I've lived here, raised 3 kids. I would love for them to go up there and see it, but I mean, to hear you guys put it down on the radio is just not pleasing at all.
Oh, I don't think we were putting it down.
I probably
think we were
was.
just talking about how light it is and how dark it is. You can't possibly say that those were 2 positive things about it.
You can. Depends on what type of year, what season it is.
All right. Well, hey, thanks, Joni. I appreciate you spreading some light, pun intended, on this whole conversation.
Is this Joni? The Joni that got in trouble a while back?
I wouldn't tell you if it was because
I think it is.
Okay.
And I think I am about to let you go.
All right. Anyways, hold on. April, where should I do my fat guy gainer from?
Actually, it's funny 'cause I'm actually from Florida, actually.
Okay. Anyways, so I keep seeing these fat guys do gainers off of waterfalls on Barstool Sports. And I'm thinking about doing one. Where should I go?
Gosh, just be careful whatever you do. But just if I were you, if you want to see a big, beautiful waterfall, go to Minnehaha Waterfalls. It's in the cities, and it's beautiful, and it was so nice.
Yeah.
Would I die if I jumped?
Yes. There's a lot of
Please
rocks.
do not do that.
I need a place I can do a really big fat guy gainer.
Oh my gosh, I am not sure.
Okay. Well, all right.
You are just so bright and cheery. I love it.
Thank you so much. And I actually just got off work, so thank you. I appreciate
Call
that.
more often. You have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Take care.
You too.
Thank you. Bye.
Anybody feel like there's just no control anymore?
Was she supposed to tell you where there was a good waterfall?
I thought that's what we were supposed. Oh no! And Joni's calling back.
I'm not
All right.
talking to Joni.
Why?
I'm not touching that burner again, man.
I'm gonna bring her on next. Hey, Joni, you're back. What's going on?
We're not on the air, are we?
Oh, of course we are. You don't want to be on the air?
No.
Are you just calling to be mean to a cat again?
No.
Okay. Well, then if I put you on hold and bring somebody else on, you'll wait for us?
I want to talk to you.
Oh, you want to talk to me?
Oh.
Ooh. All right.
Well,
You don't know what it's just. It's a private conversation. It's a private conversation. Let's
All
just
right,
be nice.
all right.
Let's be nice to Jody. She just wants to talk to only me. Let's bring on. Hey, JT, what's going on, man? How are you today?
Absolutely wonderful. How y'all doing this morning?
You sound great. I'm looking for a fat guy waterfall moment here. I see all these guys on social media, like grandfathers or really fat guys doing gainers off waterfalls, and I want to find a spot where I can do this. Do you know?
Moab, Utah. There's a little creek that runs through the desert about a half a mile back. You would never believe the gorgeous waterfall. It's about a half a mile down this creek. My wife and I hiked down there. About, I'd say, 15-foot waterfall. The water's, I'd say, about 8 to 10 foot deep. But standing up there, you can see the crawfish in the bottom of it. It's so clear.
ooh, I love crawfish.
So, but this sounds like it's not deep enough. If I do like a 50, 60-foot fat guy gainer off this thing, I feel like I'm going to hit the bottom and break my neck. Is that a dangerous situation here?
No, there was at least 300-pound guys up there jumping off with us. So,
right.
I mean, I would check my legs, of course. I wouldn't swan dive it or nothing, but and it was beautiful up there.
All right, and this is Moab, Utah, you said?
Yep, Moab, Utah, right outside of Moab, just south of it.
All right. Well, I was actually planning on driving through there in a couple of days, so I think I'll probably take a gander and
Hi.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Have a good morning.
Derek really wants to go to Jamaica and do that big jump. Remember Molly did that big jump?
Yeah.
I think it looks pretty cool.
Ashley, how you feeling this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Where should I do my fat guy gainer from?
Abrams Falls in Tennessee.
Ooh, what part of Tennessee?
By Knoxville.
Okay. It's called Abrams Falls?
Yep.
And some guy named
Like
Abrams
a
fell
couple
and
mile
died,
hike.
and that's why they had to name that after him, right?
I sure hope not, but that's a very morbid thing to say.
Well, it is. That's every canyon or falls is named after somebody who's died there first. That's why they call it. Like,
really?
Yeah, it always is. That's how all sorts of stuff gets named. If there's a canyon or a falls or a big ravine, it's always named after somebody who died.
That's really creepy.
Sorry, I broke your brain there for a second. You can hear the pause that you're taking. So, all right, next time I'm near Knoxville, you said?
Yep.
Abrams Falls. All right, it's in my head. Thanks, Ashley. Have a good morning.
You too.
Appreciate
Bye.
it. Bye. Now, guys, here's the dilemma. What do I do here? Do we bring Reese on, Elena, or is this bad news?
I don't know. I think so.
I think so. It's a bad idea, or I think so. We should bring him on.
I mean, he seemed pretty cool, but I don't know.
Okay.
Hey, Reese, what's going on this morning, man? The show's off the rails, so you can say whatever. What's going on?
How are we doing?
We're doing great. I feel attacked.
That's some good.
Oh God! See, what is this?
Oh my God! You can't call our show and say those words,
guys. This is you. You today, as an audience, have the single biggest potty mouth. I can't do it anymore. I gotta let them go.
Podcast. Download the podcast.
The Playhouse podcast is made possible thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices. Catch the live show weekdays from 5:30 to 9 on 104.7 KCLD. Now, share this with a friend. Immediately.
And hey, we have more podcast episodes available, so go check them out right now. Do it. Come on. Do it. Seriously. Do it.